lots going on all of the time, you know, and you can see all of those minds at work.
Our program is unique because we've all been where you are now. We have a lot of experience on the paths of becoming successful artists.
And it's the people who have talent and a really good work ethic that are willing to put the time and effort in that takes them someplace.
There are some amazing transformations that are so exciting, and the student is excited and we're excited.
I came here for an orientation my junior year in high school. You know, I got the scholarship straight away, which was great, and then Pi kept talking to me all the time. She kept me interested and kept me updated on what's going on.
I visited a couple times because I have friends that went here, and I loved the campus. I loved how close everything was.
I'm actually a transfer student. I wanted to pursue a degree in art therapy, so I came and visited, and all the staff was really nice, so the people were very nice, and it's just, I felt like people were paid attention to here. Everybody gets individual attention, you know, it's really wonderful. Like, I really enjoy being here.
My class is also, especially for beginning drawing, or people who come to the class with skills, and then also students who are coming who have never really drawn before, and I like that mix.
You get to be in a community that is very supportive of each other and really moving forward as a group. And I think that's really important because any work situation you have, that's what it is.
I just came to visit, and I just really fell in love with the campus itself and the surroundings, and I like the small college feel.
Well, especially as freshmen, keep yourself open, because you never know where you're going to end up within the department. I have students that come in here and say, I'm a two-dimensional artist, I love drawing and painting. Then they walk into the ceramic studio and we never see them again because they love ceramics so much.
I came here to be a drawing major or painting, and I took a ceramics class, and it just kind of stuck.
And it's the same way. I mean, there's so many wonderful opportunities here at Adrian College to really get a sense of whether you like constructing things in a three-dimensional form like a sculpture or ceramics, or whether you want to do drawing and painting or printmaking. And so that's the one thing that happens as a freshman. You just kind of keep yourself open, try all these different classes, and kind of get a feel for, you know, what's right for you.
You'll do some tremendous stuff if you take advantage of all the opportunities that are offered to you here.
It's the size and the amount of attention that you get from the faculty here. It really is, and sometimes I liken the teachers here, the professors, to parents, because they're so involved in the education of these students, and because there's such a nice ratio between faculty and students, you really can get a lot of attention here.
You know, that's what's really nice about this department. They really want you to feed off of each other, and like you're just getting ideas, or they'll be like, oh, you know, I tried this technique, and you're like, oh, I want to try that. Like, it's really good that we're such a connected group that we can feed off each other.
You can come here where for everyone creativity is the norm and the process of making art is alive.
I think that's really important, and I think community learning is real important. So our community being open to have students feel like they can express themselves.
We try to figure out how you get at some of the things that they're interested in, and that really communicates something and is something exciting to them. I try to find ways to create assignments where there's always openness that students can bring their own creative souls into. I find that often what I need to do is shake it up and ask my students to do things that are not what they were used to doing in high school. And that can be uncomfortable. So I try to figure out how to nudge people out of their comfort zones.
It helps make you more well-rounded, because it definitely works, you know, a different part of the brain that you might not be working in other classes, and it helps work your creative self.
Well, I love teaching beginning drawing, and mainly because it's the foundation for all the other classes that I teach. And I feel that it's really important to give students a good solid foundation, and drawing for all the visual arts is really important.
It's a lot of fun. Greg is a good teacher, and he's really patient.
The introduction for the human figure are dolls. We use dolls as a way to kind of understand how to build a drawing of a person. So each class, no matter what the project is, I draw it first. So it gives them the opportunity to learn in a visual format as opposed to a written format. Instead of just handing them a set of instructions, I actually do the drawing, and then they can kind of watch how I do it.
What you do in an art studio is very public. People are walking around looking over your shoulder while you work. And I find that I really need to do that because I need to see how someone paints. I need to see what they're doing that creates the result that shows up on the canvas, because I can help them better if I can have that window into their process.
In ceramics, though, I want them to find a way to express themselves.
Pi has extensive knowledge in ceramics. He knows ways to do things that they don't really print in books. And then Brian has been a master potter at Greenfield Village for 29 years. He worked there for almost 40. So he knows everything.
Because we're trying to get to kind of the core of what's important to that student. Because you're not going to make stuff you're committed to or feel passionate about unless it's there. And so trying to help the student find that, because that's how artists work. And a lot of people just think, well, you just get this idea and you just kind of go with it. Well, that's not how it works at all. There's a whole superstructure underneath that. Because unlike math or science or many other fields, how you feel about those numbers doesn't matter. How you feel about it in art matters. And you want to use that passion, compassion, that angst, you want to use that to make your art.
I like to see it as finding beauty in the world that is around us and the things that we don't necessarily take the time and look at the fine detail that is around us in the world. And so when I go out to shoot photography, I just kind of go to a location and walk around and see what happens.
Even before I came to college, that's kind of how I saw it. Art has to be this. Well, when you come to college, it's like, well, art can be this, 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 and so many different things. Art is very open. Art inspires other people to do things their own way and do things differently.
The purpose of our program is to nurture our students until they reach a point where they can find their own artistic voices, their own unique styles. And at the same time, the liberal arts environment helps students to build an awareness about their own lives and the world we live in. In our art program, we begin with your talent and we bring it together with our knowledge and experience to help you reach your potential. The result is your growth as an artist, your success.
That's one thing at Adrian College that I think is kind of unique here, is that we require our students to go out and have what we call art experience. And that's, I liken that to if you're going to learn to play an instrument, you need to go and listen to professional artists play. So an art experience is that an artist will come to Adrian College and will talk about his or her work. So this is an opportunity for our students then to go listen to somebody who's already taken these art skills to a much higher level and hopefully get inspired by them. And at the same time, it becomes part of the classwork. And so it's really important to do that. The same thing is if they go and visit an art show, they get, again, if it's a student show, perhaps they'll see all their peers' work. It's just an opportunity to actually see their skills applied to a more creative process.
But they bring them in and they'll talk about their work, and once you hear them talk about it and the thought process that goes in behind it and kind of what they do with everything and the techniques, you really learn to get an appreciation for what goes into it rather than simply what it looks like.
We try to get people to actually be artists, to exhibit their work at Artalicious, which is a little art fair in September in downtown Adrian.
Yes, I think it definitely something that the focus of Adrian is making a well-rounded student, so I definitely feel like that I'm prepared to go out in the world.
But you have to think about, where do I want to be 10 years from now? What do I want to be doing? How can I get to that? Because no one's going to give you a chance unless you have a track record. And, that track record has to involve more than one thing.
The best thing you can do is go to an art museum and just wander around because it's amazing. Like the Toledo Museum of Art, which is a wonderful resource, which is nearby, and the Detroit Institute of Art. And you'll find something that will interest you.
That's what really college brought to me. I had a very wide interest. That's what college kind of is, it just hones you into what you really want to focus on.
For me, it's just I love teaching here. So we're just continuing to welcome new students here and get to know them, because that's the benefit of teaching. It's not just that we get to do what we like as far as the drawing and the painting, but we also get to know the students, and that's the real benefit of what we do.
How can you discover unlimited creative possibilities? Well, my answer to you is that you can do it by working with a group of people who are as passionate about art as you, who have the same goals as you, and who are willing to work as hard as you to prepare for your future, be it graduate school or a career.